Today we're taking a close look at two of the most popular mid-high-end TVs you can buy right now. The Samsung QN90C and the TCL QM6K. These two models deliver serious performance, but in very different ways. One focusing on premium brightness and refined image processing, and the other pushing value and raw contrast further than you'd expect for the price. In this video, we're going to break down what each TV actually does well, where each one struggles, and which type of user will get the best experience depending on your room, your content, and your expectations. By the end, you'll know exactly which TV fits your setup. Whether you watch movies in a dark room, play competitive games, or just want the best picture quality for the price. With that said, let's start by taking a closer look at the Samsung QN90C, because this is the TV that tries to win you over with pure brightness, strong HDR performance, and some of the most polished image processing Samsung has ever offered. The Samsung QN90C is all about delivering the kind of brightness and clarity that immediately jumps out the moment you turn it on. Thanks to its Neo QLED panel with mini LED backlighting, this TV reaches extremely high peak brightness, which makes HDR highlights pop in a way many competitors still struggle to match. If you watch TV in a bright living room, the QN90C is one of the safest choices you can make. Reflections are handled very well and colors stay strong instead of washing out. Samsung also pushes some of the cleanest motion processing in this price range. Fast-paced sports, action movies, and gaming feel smooth without introducing too much soap opera effect. The contrast is also excellent for a non-OLED TV, and local dimming does a solid job keeping black levels deep while avoiding large halos around bright objects. For gamers, the QN90C brings 4K 120Hz, VRR, and low input lag, which makes it a very responsive option for both consoles and PC gaming. And because the panel gets so bright, HDR in games looks punchy even in daylight. Overall, the QN90C stands out for users who want maximum brightness, strong HDR impact, and a premium, polished image in any kind of lighting. Even though the Samsung QN90C is one of the strongest mini LED options out there, it does come with a few drawbacks that are worth considering, especially depending on how and where you watch TV. The first one is the viewing angles. Samsung uses a VA-type panel, which delivers great contrast. But when you sit off to the side, colors can shift and brightness drops noticeably. Samsung adds ultra viewing angle technology to help minimize this, but it still doesn't match the consistency you'd get from an OLED or even some IPS-based TVs. Another limitation is that the local dimming, while very good, is not perfect. In darker scenes with bright subtitles or UI elements, you may notice some blooming around small highlights. It's controlled better than many mini LEDs, but it's still present, especially in a completely dark room. So if you're a movie lover watching in total darkness, this TV won't look as clean as something with per pixel control. Also, Samsung still doesn't support Dolby Vision, which many streaming platforms use for their highest quality HDR content. The TV handles HDR10+ well, but some users might miss Dolby Vision's dynamic metadata. Overall, the QN90C is fantastic in bright environments, but in darkroom home theater setups, these limitations become more noticeable. The TCL QM6K aims to deliver a high-end viewing experience at a noticeably more accessible price, and that's exactly where it surprises most people. Equipped with mini LED backlighting, this TV pushes impressive brightness levels while maintaining strong contrast thanks to its high number of dimming zones for the price bracket. HDR content looks surprisingly bold, especially in dark scenes where the TV can keep black levels deep without crushing detail. One of the QM6K's biggest advantages is how well it balances brightness, contrast, and affordability. You get a picture that feels rich and cinematic without paying the premium price, usually associated with TVs in this performance category. It also supports Dolby Vision, which means streaming content on platforms like Netflix and Disney Plus can look more refined with better tone mapping in complex HDR scenes. For gaming, the QM6K offers 4K 120Hz, VRR, low input lag, and smooth motion handling. The image remains sharp during fast gameplay, and HDR highlights come through nicely. especially for a TV in this price range. Its value here is genuinely strong. Overall, the TCL QM6K stands out as a fantastic option for users who want excellent HDR performance, strong contrast, and great gaming features without jumping into the premium price tier. While the TCL QM6K delivers impressive performance for the price, it does come with some compromises that you'll notice depending on how you use it. The first one is uniformity and blooming control. Even though it has mini LED backlighting, the dimming algorithm isn't as refined as Samsung's. In very dark scenes, especially with bright subtitles or UI elements, you may see more blooming and a bit of light bleed compared to the QN90C. The motion processing is another area where TCL still lags behind premium brands. It's not bad, but fast content like sports or fast-paced games can show a bit more blur or less refined smoothing than what you get from Samsung's top models. For most people, it's totally usable, but enthusiasts will notice the difference. Build quality is also simpler. The TV doesn't feel as premium, and the software experience can be slightly slower or less consistent, depending on the interface version and updates. Finally, while the QM6K gets bright, it still can't match the peak brightness of the QN90C. In very bright rooms, or when displaying intense HDR highlights, Samsung still has the edge. Overall, the QM6K offers fantastic value, but the compromises show up mostly in darkroom blooming control, motion handling, and overall polish. When it comes to pure brightness, the Samsung QN90C takes the lead. Its mini LED system reaches extremely high peak levels, which makes HDR highlights look more intense and gives the image extra clarity in bright rooms, if you watch TV during the day or deal with a lot of reflections. Samsung's brightness advantage is a real benefit. The TCL QM6K still delivers strong brightness, especially for its price, but it simply can't match Samsung's peak output. Where TCL does close the gap is in overall contrast, thanks to deeper native blacks and Dolby Vision support. Dolby Vision helps optimize HDR scenes more precisely, especially on streaming platforms, giving TCL an edge in tonal accuracy. In a bright room, the QN90C looks more impactful and vibrant. In a darker environment, the QM6K can look more balanced and cinematic, especially with Dolby Vision content. Overall, best HDR pop and brightness. Samsung QN90C best HDR value and tonal balance in dark rooms. TCL QM6K. When it comes to gaming, both TVs deliver excellent performance, but in different ways. The Samsung QN90C is built for speed. With extremely low input lag and fast response times, it feels incredibly sharp in competitive games. Motion handling is one of its strongest points. So fast-paced action like shooters or racing games looks clean with minimal blur. Samsung also supports 4K at 120 Hz and FreeSync Premium Pro, giving you smooth, tear-free gameplay. The only drawback is that Samsung still doesn't support Dolby Vision gaming, which some Xbox players might miss. The TCL QM6K, on the other hand, also offers 4K 120 Hz and variable refresh rate, and surprisingly holds up very well for its price. TCL supports Dolby Vision gaming, which is a big advantage on Xbox. Games get better tone mapping, deeper contrast, and more accurate HDR brightness. Response times are good too, though not as consistently fast as Samsung, especially in very dark scenes. Motion isn't quite as clean as the QN90C, but the experience is still excellent for most gamers. Overall, best motion clarity and speed. Samsung QN90C best HDR gaming value, plus Dolby Vision gaming, TCL QM6K. When it comes to smart features, the Samsung QN90C is running on Tizen, which is clean, fast, and packed with apps. Navigation feels smooth, and Samsung still offers some of the best upscaling on the market, which really helps older content look sharper. The downside is that Tizen can feel a bit crowded with menus and recommendations if you prefer a simpler interface. The TCL QM6K uses Google TV, and this is where it really shines. The interface is simple, modern, and extremely easy to navigate. Voice search with Google Assistant works flawlessly, and the personalized recommendations feel more accurate than Samsung's. The trade-off is that Google TV can slow down over time on some models, though TCL's newer hardware handles it pretty well. Overall, best speed and upscaling, Samsung QN90C. Best interface and ease of use, TCL QM6K. In the end, both TVs deliver excellent performance, but they shine in different areas. The Samsung QN90C is the stronger all-around option if you want maximum brightness, superb motion handling, and consistently great picture quality no matter what you're watching. It's especially good for bright rooms, fast gaming, and viewers who want the most polished performance without tweaking settings. The TCL QM6K, however, is the definition of value. You get impressive mini LED contrast, Dolby Vision gaming support, and a very easy-to-use Google TV interface, all at a price that makes it extremely competitive. It may not match Samsung's peak brightness or motion clarity, but it comes surprisingly close for a much lower cost. So here's the simple conclusion. If you want the best performance overall, and you don't mind paying more, go with the Samsung QN90C. If you want 90% of the performance for a much better price, and you prefer Google TV or Dolby Vision gaming, the TCL QM6K is an excellent choice. If you made it this far, let me know what you think. Which TV would you choose? The Samsung QN90C or the TCL QM6K? Both have their strengths, and your pick really depends on what you value most, whether it's brightness, gaming features, or overall value. If you want to check current prices or learn more, the purchase links for both TVs are in the pinned comment and in the description. Drop your opinion in the comments. I'd love to see which one you think is the better option.